The jungle hides a forgotten empire. Imagine walking through a rainforest so dense that sunlight barely reaches the ground. Birds call from unseen branches, and every step echoes through the ancient jungle. Suddenly, towering above the trees, you see a massive stone pyramid. It has stood here for more than 1,000 years, hidden beneath vines and roots. This is not a legend. This is the world of the Maya, one of the greatest civilizations the Americas have ever known. The Maya built magnificent cities, invented an advanced writing system, mapped the stars with astonishing accuracy, and created calendars that still amaze historians today. Yet, despite their brilliance, many of their greatest cities were mysteriously abandoned. What happened? Did war destroy them? Did drought force them to leave? Or is the truth even more surprising? Tonight, we travel back more than 2,000 years to uncover the rise and fall of the mysterious Maya civilization. The birth of a great civilization long before the towering pyramids of Tikal and Chichen Itza rose above the jungle. The Maya were ordinary people living in small farming villages across what is now southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. Their greatest treasure was not gold, it was corn. Maize became the heart of Maya life. It fed families, shaped their religion, and even appeared in their creation stories. According to the sacred Popol Vuh, the gods created human beings from maize dough after earlier attempts had failed. As the years passed, these quiet villages slowly transformed into thriving towns. Farmers learned how to grow food in difficult rainforest conditions. Craftsmen shaped beautiful pottery. Merchants carried valuable goods across long distances. Priests carefully observed the movement of the sun, moon, and stars. Generation after generation, knowledge continued to grow. By around 250 AD, the Maya entered what historians now call the Classic Period. Magnificent cities began rising from the jungle. Stone pyramids reached toward the sky. Palaces welcomed powerful kings. And thousands of people gathered in enormous plazas where ceremonies echoed beneath the tropical sun. The Maya civilization had become one of the most advanced societies in the ancient world. Yet no one living in those glorious cities could imagine that centuries later, many of them would stand empty, swallowed by the jungle itself. The great cities of the Maya. As the centuries passed, the Maya world changed dramatically. Small farming villages gave way to magnificent cities that rose above the endless rainforest like islands of stone. Among them stood Tikal, one of the greatest cities in the ancient Americas. Its towering pyramids reached more than 200 feet into the sky, rising above the jungle canopy. From the top, priests could watch the sunrise over an endless sea of green trees, while thousands of people gathered below for ceremonies, celebrations, and royal events. But Tikal was not alone. Across the Maya world, powerful cities such as Calakmul, Palenque, and Copan competed for wealth, influence, and power. Each city was ruled by a king believed to have a sacred connection with the gods. These rulers wore magnificent feathered headdresses, jade jewelry, and elaborate ceremonial clothing. Their victories and achievements were carved into giant stone monuments that still survive today. Life inside a Maya city was full of activity. Merchants filled busy marketplaces with cacao beans, colorful textiles, pottery, obsidian blades, and precious jade. Artists painted beautiful murals. Skilled architects designed enormous temples without modern machines. Every building reflected the Mayas' remarkable knowledge of mathematics and engineering. To outsiders, these cities must have seemed unstoppable. They were rich, they were powerful, and they appeared destined to last forever. But beneath the beauty of these magnificent kingdoms, fierce rivalries were already beginning to grow. The greatest danger to the Maya would not come from the jungle. It would come from one another. The kings, wars, and blood sacrifices. At the height of Maya civilization, power meant everything. Every great city was ruled by a king who claimed that the gods had chosen him to lead. His words were considered sacred, and his victories were believed to prove the favor of the heavens. But peace rarely lasted. Across the rainforest, rival kingdoms watched one another with suspicion. Powerful cities like Tikal and Calakmul fought bitter wars that lasted for generations. These were not small battles. They were struggles for survival, influence, and glory. Maya warriors marched through the dense jungle carrying wooden shields, sharp obsidian blades, and long spears. Every victory brought honor to a king, while every defeat threatened his throne. Yet the purpose of war was not always to conquer land. Often, the greatest prize was capturing important enemies alive. Those prisoners were taken back to the city where thousands gathered in the great plazas. There, during sacred ceremonies, priests offered sacrifices to the gods. The Maya believed these rituals helped maintain the balance of the universe and ensured that the sun would rise again. To modern eyes, these ceremonies seem frightening, but to the ancient Maya, they were acts of devotion, deeply connected to their faith and understanding of the world. As the years passed, however, endless wars placed enormous pressure on the great cities. Fields were destroyed, trade routes became dangerous. People began to lose confidence in rulers who promised prosperity but delivered only conflict. The cracks in the mighty Maya civilization had begun to appear, and soon those cracks would grow into something far more dangerous than any enemy army. The secrets of the Maya calendar and the stars. When darkness fell over the Maya world, most people returned to their homes. But high above the city, inside stone temples and observatories, Maya astronomers remained awake, night after night, year after year. They watched the heavens with incredible patience. Without telescopes, without modern technology, they carefully recorded the movements of the sun, the moon, Venus, and countless stars. To the Maya, the sky was more than beautiful. It was a sacred message from the gods. They believed every movement in the heavens carried meaning, guiding the right time to plant crops, begin wars, crown kings, and perform sacred ceremonies. Their knowledge became so advanced that they created one of the most accurate calendar systems in the ancient world. Using mathematics and careful observation, they could predict eclipses and track the cycles of planets with astonishing precision. Even today, archaeologists continue to admire the intelligence behind the Maya calendar. In 2012, many people mistakenly believed the Maya had predicted the end of the world. But that was never the true meaning. For the Maya, time was not a straight line with an ending. It was a never-ending cycle, where one age ended and another quietly began. As the stars continued their silent journey across the night sky, the Maya believed their civilization would also continue forever. But history had already begun writing a different story, a story that would soon change everything. The mysterious collapse begins. For centuries, the Maya civilization seemed unstoppable. Its cities were filled with life. Its temples reached toward the heavens, and its kings believed their kingdoms would endure forever. But then, something began to change. The rains became less frequent. The rivers grew smaller. Reservoirs that had once supplied entire cities slowly dried beneath the relentless tropical sun. For the Maya, water was life. Without it, crops began to fail. Fields of maize turned brown. Families who had always depended on the harvest suddenly faced hunger. As food became scarce, fears spread from village to village. At the same time, the growing population placed enormous pressure on the forests. More trees were cut down to build homes, temples, and to create farmland. With fewer forests, the land struggled to hold moisture, making the drought even worse. The balance between nature and civilization was beginning to break. One by one, great cities that had once echoed with music, trade, and celebration became strangely quiet. Marketplaces emptied. Temples stood silent. Families packed their belongings and disappeared into the forests, searching for a place where life could begin again. No one knows exactly what those final days looked like, but archaeologists believe this was the beginning of one of history's greatest mysteries. The slow and heartbreaking collapse of the mighty Maya civilization. The jungle was waiting patiently, ready to reclaim everything humans had built. The lost cities swallowed by the jungle. The years passed, then decades, then centuries. Without people to care for them, the magnificent cities of the Maya slowly disappeared beneath the growing rainforest. Stone stairways cracked. Tree roots pushed through palace walls. Vines wrapped themselves around towering pyramids, as if nature were quietly reclaiming what humanity had built. The songs of merchants, the voices of priests, the footsteps of kings, all faded into silence. Only the sounds of birds, insects, and howler monkeys echoed through the empty temples. To later generations, many of these cities were completely forgotten. Some local communities remembered ancient legends of stone cities hidden deep within the jungle, but few outsiders believed them. For hundreds of years, the lost world of the Maya remained hidden. Then, in the 19th century, explorers began hearing strange stories. Guided by local people, they pushed through thick forests with machetes in hand. Every step brought them closer to something extraordinary. Suddenly, Through the tangled vines, a giant stone staircase appeared, then another and another. Before their eyes stood enormous pyramids, royal palaces, and carved monuments that had been hidden for nearly 1,000 years. It was one of archaeology's greatest discoveries. The Maya civilization had never truly vanished. It had simply been sleeping beneath the jungle, waiting patiently for the world to find it again. The mystery that still remains. For more than 1,000 years, one question has echoed through history. What really happened to the Maya? How could one of the world's most brilliant civilizations slowly abandon its magnificent cities? The truth is, no one knows for certain. Modern archaeologists have spent decades searching for answers. Some believe that a series of devastating droughts lasted for many years. Without enough rain, crops failed. Reservoirs dried up. Families struggled to survive. Others believe that endless wars between rival kingdoms weakened the civilization from within. Powerful kings demanded larger armies. Cities fought for resources. Victory became more important than peace. There is another possibility. As forests disappeared to make room for farms and monuments, the land itself began to change. Without enough trees, the soil became weaker, and the climate may have grown even drier. Some researchers think it wasn't just one disaster, but many disasters happening at the same time. Drought, war, hunger, political unrest. Together, they slowly pushed the great Maya cities beyond their limits. Yet, one fact often surprises people. The Maya people did not disappear. Their great cities were abandoned, but millions of Maya descendants still live today across Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. They continue to speak Maya languages, preserve ancient traditions, and keep alive a culture that has survived for thousands of years. The empire may have fallen, but the Maya people never truly vanished. Their story continues to this very day. The legacy of the Maya. Although the great cities of the Maya eventually fell silent, their achievements never disappeared. Long before many civilizations understood advanced mathematics, the Maya had already developed an astonishing numerical system. They were among the first cultures in the world to use the concept of zero, a discovery that would later become essential to mathematics, science, and technology. Their architects built towering pyramids without iron tools, heavy machinery, or wheeled vehicles. Stone by stone, generation after generation, they created monuments that have survived for more than 1,000 years. The Maya were also master astronomers. They carefully observed the movements of the sun, the moon, and the planet Venus with remarkable accuracy. Their calendars reflected centuries of patient observation and mathematical skill, impressing historians and scientists even today. They also developed one of the most sophisticated writing systems in the ancient Americas. Thousands of carved stone monuments and painted codices recorded the stories of kings, battles, religious ceremonies, and everyday life. Each symbol preserved a small piece of their remarkable civilization. But perhaps the Mayas' greatest legacy is not found in their temples or monuments. It lives within the people themselves. Today, millions of Maya descendants continue to live across Central America. They speak ancient Maya languages, celebrate traditional festivals, and preserve customs that have been passed down through countless generations. Empires may rise and empires may fall, but culture has the power to survive. The magnificent cities became ruins, yet the spirit of the Maya never truly disappeared. It continues to inspire the world, just as it has for thousands of years. The final mystery: what can we learn from the Maya? As the first rays of sunlight touch the ancient pyramids, the jungle slowly comes alive once again. Birds sing from the towering trees. A gentle breeze moves through the vines that now cover temples once filled with thousands of people. For a moment, it feels as though time itself has stopped. The Maya built one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. They mastered mathematics. They studied the stars. They created magnificent cities from nothing but stone, determination, and imagination. Yet even the greatest civilizations are not eternal. History reminds us that no empire is too powerful to fall. Environmental change, political conflict, endless wars, and the misuse of natural resources. Together, these challenges can slowly weaken even the strongest societies. Perhaps that is why the story of the Maya still feels so important today. It is not simply the story of an ancient civilization. It is a reminder that progress without balance can never last forever. Yet despite the collapse of their great cities, the Maya themselves survived. Their descendants still speak ancient languages. They still honor traditions passed down through countless generations. Their culture continues to live long after the kings and palaces became part of history. Today, visitors walk through the silent ruins of Tikal, Palenque, and Chichen Itza. They climb the ancient stone steps. They stand beneath towering temples, and they ask the same question that historians continue asking today: what truly happened here? Perhaps some mysteries are never meant to be completely solved. Perhaps that is why these forgotten cities continue to capture our imagination, because every broken stone, every hidden carving, and every silent temple still has another story waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining this journey through the incredible world of the Maya civilization. Until our next adventure, sleep well and keep wondering about the forgotten stories of our past.